Today's news highlights. Date April 2, 2025. News highlights: the Eastern Theater of the Communist Party of China launched joint military exercises around Taiwan on the 1st, and cooperated with the Coast Guard fleet to conduct raids and interceptions. The Nationalist Army responded quickly and condemned the Communist Army for its serious corruption and false combat effectiveness. The exercise is seen as a response to the U.S. Indo-Pacific deployment, increasing Xi Jinping's bargaining chips and stabilizing the military's morale. The Ministry of National Defense criticized the CCP for undermining regional stability, while the People's Party accused it of intimidating the people of Taiwan. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Mainland Affairs Council called on the Chinese Communists to stop provocations, stressing that they are international troublemakers and hostile forces outside the country. News highlights: since 2021, Chinese real estate companies have defaulted on their foreign debt of $147 billion, with investors recovering only 0.6%. The liquidation of Evergrande and other enterprises has been blocked, and it is difficult for creditors to recover. Evergrande's overseas assets of 60 billion Hong Kong dollars were frozen, and the Su Jian family still has huge assets. In 2024, the debt pressure of China's real estate companies will intensify, and the number of defaults will surge. This year, the maturity scale of bonds reached 525.7 billion yuan, and market confidence continued to be sluggish. News highlights: the Trump administration in the United States intends to promote reciprocal tariffs, and J.P. Morgan Chase predicts that the global economic outlook will deteriorate, and financial markets will face pressure for at least 3 months. The bank simulates 3 tariff scenarios, ranging from 10% to 35%, affecting the yields of U.S. stocks, the U.S. dollar and U.S. treasuries. Tariffs could push up inflation, putting the Fed in a policy dilemma and making it difficult to cut interest rates in the short term. Morgan Stanley warned that the Tech 7 are particularly affected by tariffs, and market turmoil may intensify. News highlights: Japanese media reported that UMC plans to merge with GF, raising concerns about the Pan-American semiconductor supply chain in Taiwan. Scholar Wu Darren warned that if the wafer duo went to the United States, it could hit Taiwan's export, investment, and labor markets hard. According to Liu Piajan, the merger may be due to geopolitics and the US-China technology war, and the United States hopes to control the mature process. Scholars believe that Taiwanese players should make good use of the U.S. capital market to enhance their competitiveness in order to meet the challenges of the rise of China's mature manufacturing processes. News highlights: the merger of Taishan Gold and Shinkong Gold was approved by the FSC, making it the first financial holding merger in Taiwan. Lin Weihun, general manager of Taishan Gold, said that the dividend policy will increase cash dividends and reduce stock dividends, which are expected to be issued from August to September. After the merger, Shinkong Gold shareholders will receive common shares and special shares of Taishan Gold, and the special shares will be recovered in cash after 3 years. Lin Weihun emphasized that the senior management will jointly operate the new financial holding, and select suitable candidates after the structural adjustment. Chairman Wu Dongliang responded in a low-key manner, and said with a smile that it will be harder in the future, and will continue to grow and seek mergers and acquisitions opportunities in the future. News highlights: Yan Bingley, general manager of Cushman & Wakefield, said that the central bank's loan restrictions have curbed investment and gas purchases, and the housing market has fallen into a state of sleepwalking, with prices and volumes stagnating but not entering short. It is estimated that housing prices will be slowed down in 2024, with a maximum decline of 5% in the egg yolk area and 10% in the protein area, and there is no hope for housing prices to fall sharply. He stressed that the market is in a pattern of volume contraction, price correction, and sellers need to be more active in 2025. In addition, land transactions in the first quarter amounted to RMB 56.1 billion, and builders continued to be optimistic about the market and actively purchased land for the future. News highlights: Korean cheerleaders are popular in Taiwan's professional baseball, and almost all of the 6 teams in the middle professional team have Korean members, which has become the focus of fans. According to the analysis of the public opinion system, Korean cheerleaders such as Lee Ju-young, Lee Ye-young, and Nam Min-young have become phenomenal internet celebrities on social platforms and occupy a leading position in the Voice survey. In contrast, Taiwanese cheerleaders such as Yu Yu and Lin Xiang are still far less vocal than Korean members, showing the strong influence of Korean cheerleaders in the Taiwan market. News highlights: Hualien County Assembly Speaker Zhang Jun issued a statement on Facebook in which he publicly supported Fu's removal and stressed that this was to regain the trust of the people in the KMT and avoid continued divisions and bubbles within the party. He mentioned that since Fu Kunking took over as the chief caucus of the Legislative Yuan, the KMT's popularity has declined sharply, and many outstanding legislators have been implicated. He called on party insiders to cut ties with Fu Kunking, stressing that if the cancer is not removed, there will be no peace in the Congress, and expressed that he still loves the KMT and is willing to work hard for the future of the party. News highlights: Ko Wenz, the former chairman of the People's Party, has deteriorated since he was detained in September last year, and has developed symptoms of kidney failure such as blood in the urine and nausea. Yesterday, he went to Taipei Hospital for surgery, and the diagnosis showed left hydronephrosis and ureteral stones. K's wife, Peggy Chen, expressed concern and has asked the legal team to file an application for bail, but the Taipei District Court has not yet ruled on it. News highlights senior media person Liu Wenwan recently returned from a trip to Tokyo, and met noisy children on the plane. Her parents had a negative attitude, and the flight attendant's reaction also made her dumbfounded. Liu Wenwan revealed that the child quarreled from beginning to end, and also kicked the back of the chair and played with the service bell, so that she could not rest. She asked the flight attendant to coordinate, but the flight attendant was impatient to respond. Liu Wenwan said that she would complain to avoid the same treatment for future passengers. News highlights Korean cheerleading goddess Jeon Eun-fi has soared in popularity during the WBC qualifying tournament, but has not yet joined a mid-career team. According to reports, she tried to commit suicide and often posted negative articles in the community, which made the club afraid to sign easily. Despite this, Chuan En-fei recently arrived in Taiwan, and although the event schedule was not announced, he still attracted fans to pick up the plane, and thanked the fans on IG, showing that he was in a happy mood. News highlights under the influence of the cold air mass on the mainland today. 2nd, the temperature will be lower in the morning and evening, and the coldest point will be 10.3 degrees Celsius in Shiding, New Taipei. The day turned clear, there was occasional brief rain in Huadong, and the temperature rose. The weather was stable in the first 2 days of the Qingming holiday, and it was cloudy in various places, with a high temperature of more than 30 degrees Celsius in the south, and an increase in cloudiness in the next 2 days. Tomorrow, 3rd, the cold air mass on the mainland weakened, the temperature rose during the day, the temperature difference between day and night in the western half was large, and there were scattered brief rains in the eastern half and the Hengchun Peninsula. Clouds thickened over the weekend with light rain in localized mountainous areas. News highlights on April 1st, the Eastern Theater of the People's Liberation Army, PLA, conducted an April Fool's Day military exercise around Taiwan, covering joint exercises of the 4 major branches of the armed forces, the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Rocket Force. Today, April 2nd, the Eastern Theater announced that it will conduct the Straight Thunder 2025A exercise in the central and southern parts of the Taiwan Strait, focusing on subjects such as verification and identification, warning and dispersal, interception and seizure, etc., to test regional control, joint closure and control, and precision strike capabilities. The military exercise was provocative. News highlights in the first quarter of this year, the housing market price volume is weak, the market wait-and-see sentiment is strong. Expert Li Tongrong predicts that the future housing market will face 3 black swans. First, the capital momentum of builders is limited, and the delivery tide is coming in 2025. Second, the stock market and foreign exchange market are volatile, and the direction of capital flow is uncertain, which may exacerbate the downward trend of the housing market. Finally, the Trump effect could affect the global economy, with Taiwan's GDP growth sluggish, further dampening the rebound in the housing market. This, coupled with geopolitical tensions, will pose a significant challenge to the housing market. News highlights Japanese media reported that UMC and GF may merge, raising concerns about the future of Taiwan's semiconductor industry. Wu Darren, a professor at the Department of Economics at Cheng'an University, warned that if Taiwan's 2 major wafer foundries invest in the United States, it will affect Taiwan's exports, investment, and labor market, which may lead to the exacerbation of low wages and damage the country's economic growth in the long term. Experts from the Taiwan Academy of Economics believe that if the merger comes true, it may be in response to the US-China technology war and the rise of Chinese mainland in mature processes, but the impact of Taiwan's industry still needs to be observed. News highlights former Taipei Mayor K. Wenz underwent surgery at Taipei Hospital on the morning of the 2nd due to hydronephrosis caused by kidney stones, and successfully removed small stones. About an hour after the operation, K. Wenz was sent to the intensive care unit to recover. K's wife, Peggy Chan, waited in the hospital and thanked the surgeon for his professional handling. K. Wenz has been in custody since September last year, and recently applied for bail due to his health condition, which is still pending a court decision. News highlights Hualien County Assembly Speaker Zhang Jun publicly expressed his support for the recall of the KMT's high-ranking Fu Kunking today, 2nd, and was deeply worried about the future of the KMT. Zhang Jun was a veteran member of the Kuomintang and was suppressed in the speaker election for opposing the illegal mineral tax levied by Fu Kunking. He pointed out that the KMT is currently facing severe challenges, and Fu Kunking's leadership has divided the party, affected the image and momentum of party members, and even led to a wave of recall of party legislators. News highlights a car accident occurred in Anhui province on March 29 in mainland China, where 3 female college students drove Xiaomi's first car, Xiaomi SU7, into a fire that ran out of control and caught fire. After the accident, Xiaomi shares fell 5.49%. Lei Jun publicly expressed his condolences, emphasizing that Xiaomi will fully cooperate with the police investigation and ensure that the handling is open and transparent. News highlights a man in Dawen was pronounced dead 7 years ago after losing contact with his family due to an argument with his family many years ago. This year, he reissued his passport only to realize that he had already been declared dead, so he crossed the sea to the Dawin District Court to revoke it. The judge confirmed that the man was still alive after the man personally gave evidence and was identified by his mother and sister. The court ultimately ruled to revoke the declaration of death. News highlights: a car accident occurred in the Tianjin district of Kaohsiung on the 1st, and a 25-year-old Chu man collided with a Ferrari Purosang worth 22 million on a heavy machine. Chu Nan sat on the red chair after falling, his expression was desperate, and netizens laughed that he had doubted life. The police preliminarily determined that the owner of the Ferrari did not give way to the car going straight, and Chu Nan suffered multiple abrasions in the accident that were not life-threatening. The Ferrari Purosang is Ferrari's first four-door, four-seater model with a top speed of 330 km per hour, making it the most expensive SUV on the market, drawing attention to the issue of compensation after a crash. News highlights: recently, a netizen posted a post sharing that the word Fu in his name is actually Fu, and he only found out because of the carrying code. The original Po laughed and said that he had been called Jin Fu for 32 years, but because of the wrong filing of the Household Affairs Office, his name was mistakenly written as Jin Fu. Netizens left messages saying that they didn't notice the difference between Fu and Fu, which was an eye-opener for everyone. The Ministry of Education pointed out that the pronunciation of the two is the same, but the meaning of the words is different, where means to be full and to calculate the unit of clothing. News highlights: the Judiciary Committee of the Legislative Yuan invited Zhou Wanlei and others to report on the expansion of the National Assembly, but the DPP caucus received a letter from Han Kuo-yu before the meeting began, saying that Zhou Wanlei and others were unable to attend. Wu Saiyao, Secretary General of the Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, strongly criticized, accusing Han of abusing his power and flouting Congress, and questioning that the letter was dated April Fool's Day, which caused serious damage to democracy and process. Lin Chuyan criticized Han and Zhou's absurd behavior and called for the removal of KMT legislators to restore order in the legislature. News highlights: Ou Gazi, a female Chinese language teacher in Taipei City, sparked controversy after she was interviewed by CCTV and criticized President Lai Ching-te for listing China as a hostile force abroad. Veteran media personality Zhou Yukao posted a photo of the district and the chairman of the United Promotion Party, Zhang Anil, satirizing the two in secret talks, and described it as a classic picture of the century. Okazi's remarks later sparked a reaction from the school, which issued an announcement banning faculty members from being interviewed by Chinese media and suspending posting on her social media sites. News highlights: Andy, the founder of the well-known YouTube channel Crowd, recently publicly accused his ex-girlfriend Zhang Jianing and his family of embezzling more than 100 million yuan of the channel's revenue and suspected of tax evasion. Andy returns to his hometown in Yunlin to spend time with his family, and in the video he thanks everyone for their support and says that his mother has lost a lot of weight because she is worried about him. At the end of the film, he expressed his gratitude to the audience and promised to continue to work hard and take on the responsibility of protecting his family. News highlights: Korean cheerleader Chuan En-fei recently attracted attention for participating in the WBC qualifying tournament, and it was rumored on the internet that she would come to Taiwan for development, but she has not been seen so far. It is suspected that she suffered from depression and made radical remarks in the past, which became the reason why the mid-career football team did not sign her. This situation is similar to the example of artists affecting their image due to negative news, such as Zhang Junhan's image was damaged and transformed into an internet celebrity after taking drugs for the second time. Chu Yangxiang disappeared from the fluorescent screen for 2 years due to a drunken incident, and Guo Shiyao also complained about the impact on the work relationship due to dissatisfaction with filming. News highlights: actress Ye Yao, Huang Qiaxin, recently posted a photo of herself at the police station on the community, saying that she specially went south to call the police to make a record, and was ready to file a complaint against the internet acid people. She said that the people hiding behind the network will eventually have to deal with it themselves. Ye Yao's sister Apple also supported it in the message area, emphasizing sour people, those who step on the line will be punished by law. The incident originated when Ye Yao was traveling in South Korea and described Yoon Suk-yeol's impeachment demonstration as a garden party, which caused dissatisfaction among South Korean netizens and was subjected to online violence. News highlights: MJ116 announced its return to the music scene with a new album Ogs and 4 concerts at Taipei Arena in July. However, after the new song Wu Yu Sha was launched recently, netizens found that the thin man named Zi in the lyrics and sang "Oh Zi he only hooks the second sister-in-law," which aroused fans' attention and speculated that the Tereo war was about to start. Netizens also retraced the past entanglements between the two, pointing out that Zi had an affair with Wu Zhouyuan, the girlfriend of the thin cousin, which caused a series of controversies. News highlights: after the sudden death of Da.'s, Su Ziwan, the family fell into extreme grief, especially her mother's mother, Huang Chunmei, who frequently expressed her thoughts about her daughter on social media. However, recently she posted on Facebook looking for her daughter, writing, "Baby Shan, where the hell did you run away and why haven't you come back?" However, she was attacked by some netizens, criticizing her for getting sell on the internet and feeding media information with the wind. Despite this, SS mother also thanked the fans who supported her, and responded to everyone's warm messages with the word gratitude to express her gratitude to the supporters. News highlights: Trump will announce new tariffs on April 2nd, with the option of imposing a 20% tariff on all imports or reciprocal tariffs on different countries. In addition, the Office of the United States Trade Representative, USTR, is considering option 3, where the tax rate is below 20% in some countries. The move was spurred by a backlash from industry and politics. At present, Trump said that the plan has been finalized, but it is still being discussed internally. If a full tax is introduced, the impact will be much larger than in the first term, covering $3.3 trillion in imports. News highlights: a few days ago, a tragic car accident occurred on the Deshang Expressway in Anhui, China. Late at night on March 29, a Xiaomi SU7 electric car lost control while driving on the highway and crashed into a guardrail and caught fire. The 3 female college students in the car were suspected of being unable to escape in time because the car door could not be opened, and unfortunately died. News highlights: controlling blood sugar is not only about avoiding milk and cakes, but also many snacks that claim to be healthy such as granola bars, fruit yogurt, and sugar-free biscuits actually hide glycemic traps and may contain fructose or artificial sweeteners that affect blood sugar stability. Dietitian Xue Xiaojing suggests that diabetics can choose unflavored nuts, sugar-free Greek yogurt with cinnamon powder, or more than 85% dark chocolate to stabilize blood sugar and satisfy appetite. News highlights: since April 1st, the Eastern Theater of the Chinese People's Liberation Army, PLA, has launched joint exercises around Taiwan, covering the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Rocket Forces, claiming to contain Taiwan independence. The Communist Army released the film Conquering Demons and Eliminating Demons, which showed the city scene of Taipei for the first time, including Taipei 101 and Hankow Street simulating a missile attack on Taipei's Zhongzheng district. Retired Major General Li Zhenjia warned that the People's Liberation Army, PLA, may have mastered the evacuation route of Taiwan's leaders, and the sense of intimidation is strong. For its part, the Ministry of National Defense said it had activated a contingency mechanism to respond to the provocation. News highlights: in order to prevent customers from occupying seats for a long time, Starbucks has implemented a new rule since April 1st. If a customer is away from a seat for more than 1 hour, the store staff will record and move the item, and if necessary, hand it over to the police. In addition, if a customer occupies more than 1 seat and the store is full, the store staff will assist in the table consolidation. This announcement sparked heated discussions, and most netizens supported it, believing that it could improve the problem of insufficient seats, and hoped that other coffee chains would follow suit. News highlights: on April 1st, a walking mansion car accident occurred in the former town of Kaohsiung, where a 25-year-old Chu man rode a heavy motorcycle at high speed and crashed into a Ferrari Purosang that was turning left, resulting in serious damage to the front of the car. The rider flipped to the ground, and finally slumped on the red chair with a desperate expression, which caused heated discussions. The police preliminarily determined that the owner of the Ferrari did not give way to the car and drove straight, and the responsibility is yet to be clarified. Netizens humorously incense: if you hit this kind of car, no matter how little blame you have, you will cry. News highlights: Yaya, Xiao Yi, and Enkai, who were revoked for advocating martial reunification, have all left the country, and Enkai immediately reported safety on Douyin after returning to China, but Yaya has not updated the news since leaving the country on March 25, which has caused heated discussions. Some netizens speculated that Yaya was picked up when she left the airport, and even suspected that Fuzhou Airport was a stand-in. Interior Minister Liu Shifeng has previously pointed out that Yaya's words and deeds have the characteristics of legal warfare, public opinion warfare, and psychological warfare, which is suspected to be related to China's cognitive warfare. News highlights: with the improvement of environmental protection and health awareness, more and more people choose vegetarian diet, but they are found to have fatty liver disease during health checkups. Physician Zhang Jiaming pointed out that some vegetarians have excessive intake of starch and insufficient protein intake, resulting in fat accumulation. In addition, a 2024 Cornell University study in the United States showed that a specific genetic variant, RS666989663, accelerates vegetable oil metabolism, making the body more likely to accumulate inflammatory fats. News highlights: Zheng Qiuchen was accused of sexual harassment, and broke the news that he had invited the actress to take a taxi in the name of stopping by, and reached out to touch her thigh on the way, causing the actress to panic, and was finally stopped by the program production unit. The outside world speculated that the actress was Albi, Fan Yifei, and Albi posted a post in the evening to clarify that there was no touching of the thighs, and only left the show because the contract expired. China Television has asked the production unit to investigate the truth of the incident, but Zheng Qiuchen has not yet responded. News highlights: a Taichung husband shares the monthly expenses of a family of 3, with a total monthly salary of 113,300 yuan, and after deducting rent, car loans, insurance, water and electricity expenses, etc., the cost of eating out and other expenses are almost 110,000 to 120,000 per month. He said it was difficult to control spending and questioned whether it was normal. Netizens suggested reducing the cost of cars and eating out, and suggested that couples should strengthen financial planning, avoid becoming moonshiners, and pay attention to entertainment and unnecessary expenses. News highlights Hong Kong 42-year-old actress Chen Saiki, formerly known as Chen Kai, became the TVB queen made with her performances in films such as Cadet Police Guard. In recent years, she moved to the mainland, and she announced on Douyin that she would start selling chicken feet on the ground, and confidently said that she wanted to be the queen of chicken feet. In addition, Chen Saiki has changed careers to become a music therapist and aromatherapist, and has successfully regained her natural appearance after failing plastic surgery. News highlights a female student accused a doctor surnamed Wang of Mackay Hospital of sexually assaulting her and forcing her to swallow sperm, and after the first trial, Wang was sentenced to 6 years in prison, but the second trial reversed the acquittal, and the Supreme Court revoked the verdict and remanded the case for a new trial. The female student committed suicide during the trial of the case, and cursed the king in a suicide note that he would not die well. In the civil part, the parents of the female student claimed 12.5 million yuan, but the Taipei District Court held that it failed to prove that there was a causal relationship between the sexual assault incident and the suicide, and ruled that the parents lost the lawsuit, and Wang was exempted from compensation. The case is still ongoing. News highlights Wang Sheng, a mainland anti-cancer internet celebrity. Baoxuan is the champion, a top student of Shanghai Jiaotong University and a former 400-meter track and field champion, was diagnosed with advanced lung adenocarcinoma in 2020. The cancer has spread to multiple organs and has not improved despite various treatments. In 2022, he gave up chemotherapy, lived in seclusion in Zhejiang, and tried traditional Chinese medicine and natural remedies, and his condition improved for a while. However, in 2024, the cancer recurred, and he finally passed away on March 31, 2025, at the age of 53. News highlights some netizens shared that they worked part-time as a delivery after work, and found that the security work seemed to be easy, especially during the night shift, where they could sit and play games or even sleep secretly, and they were envious. However, there are also security sharing experiences, although the work content is easy, but the work is long, and it is often unpleasant due to infighting and difficulty in asking for leave. Although the pay is poor, for some people, this way of working is also very cool. News highlights since April 1, the Eastern Theater of the Chinese People's Liberation Army has conducted a large-scale military exercise in the waters around Taiwan, codenamed Straight Thunder 2025A, which includes joint operations of the Army, Navy, Air Force, and Rocket Forces, testing the troops' joint operations, regional control, precision strikes, and containment capabilities. The military exercise was mainly aimed at warning Taiwan independence forces. The Taiwan authorities have stepped up their vigilance to deal with it. The PLA has not yet announced the end time of the exercise, and the situation is still under concern. News highlights in a recent interview with China CCTV, Ou Gazi, a female Chinese literature teacher in BI, expressed her dissatisfaction with Taiwan President Lai Ching-te's view of China as a hostile force abroad, and said that there is no doubt that upright Chinese caused controversy. Subsequently, some netizens dug up the whispering picture between her and Zhang Anil, chairman of the United Promotion Party, which made many people question her position. O has criticized the desinicization of the 108 syllabus and accused students of lacking integrity, but her contact with underworld figure Zhang Anil has raised questions. BI Girls School issued a document emphasizing that it would not accept interviews with Chinese state media, while Ou Gazi said that she understood and complied. News highlights today, April 2, the cold air mass of the mainland continued to affect Taiwan, and the temperature dropped significantly. The Central Weather Administration issued a special report on low temperatures, with a chance of falling below 10 degrees in New Taipei City, Hsinchu County, and other places, with strong northeast winds, and wind speeds of 6 or gusts of 8 in Dawan, Miili and other places. Meteorological experts said that the weather turned dry and cold, with low temperatures of 12 to 14 degrees in the north and northeast, 14 to 16 degrees in other areas, and there is a chance that the open areas of Zhu, Miao, and New Taipei will be below 10 degrees. News highlights Korean cheerleading goddess Bien Hella was recently involved in the praise of the audience turmoil, and it was suspected that she was ridiculed by fans for her figure, which made fans feel distressed. Although she did not respond to the matter, she posted on the first that I don't like to eat, which attracted attention. Later, she posted a photo of the food, emphasizing that she had not eaten, and humorously adjusted her self-introduction on April Fool's Day, jokingly saying that eating is not fat, showing a relaxed attitude. News highlights Japan's sexy singer Kota Leiwei debuted through the talent show in 1999, transformed into a sexy style from 2003, and cooperated with the video game Final Fantasy X2 to launch the theme song, and finally won everyone's attention, and released the Feel My Mind album the next year, establishing her sexy status, and since then leading the Lucky Frenzy. Many singers have rushed to imitate Kota Leiwei's style, but still take the sexy singer that breaks the icon. A few days ago, she came to Taiwan again after 10 years to sing the finale of the Kaohsiung Cherry Blossom season, which made the fans on the scene excited. News highlights: since joining the Sidic Brothers exclusive cheerleading team in 2016, the 34-year-old actress Wu Hanyu has become popular due to the support song Exploding Chen Zihao, and her popularity has skyrocketed, and she has successively endorsed, launched photo albums and hosted programs. Recently, she shared 5 photos of wearing sexy underwear on IG, showing her perfect body and attracting the attention of a large number of netizens. Each set of lingerie is paired with a different position, from a naughty bag of chips to a sexy career line, showing her sweet and charming double-sided charm. News highlights: Korean cheerleading actress Chwon Eun-fei soared in popularity after coming to Taiwan to participate in the WBC cheering event in February this year, and attracted contacts from various middle-level football groups, but has not appeared on the court so far. According to sources, Kwon's development plan has not yet been determined, and the team is worried about her negative emotions and extreme words and actions in the past, especially her depression due to bullying and trying to commit suicide, so that the team will maintain a wait-and-see attitude towards signing. Despite this, Korean cheerleading has become a hot topic in the middle class, attracting more ball groups to invite foreign aid to Taiwan for development. News highlights: Sui Tang and her husband Tony have 3 children, the youngest is only 5 years old. In recent years, due to childcare to reduce work, recently began to take on new films, and received the full support of her husband. On March 22, she and her husband appeared in an overseas Chinese middle school together, wearing casual clothes to watch students perform, interacting naturally with other parents, and showing a shelf-free side. Sui Tang has always paid attention to education, once took his children away from the city to settle in Pingtung, and actively participated in social activities such as child sexual abuse prevention. Recently, she is also promoting the new drama Welcome to the Second Generation Coffee and playing against Feng Xiaoyu. News highlights: Winnie debuted from college students, became popular with her sweet appearance and talent, and formed the girl group Boom Monster Star with Wei Jiaying and others. She has been dating her boyfriend who is worth more than 100 million yuan for nearly 5 years and has a stable relationship. Recently, I was photographed shopping in a nightclub with my boyfriend in Xinyi district, although there was a small dispute during the photo, but he still showed affection. Winnie emphasized the priority of the career and did not rush to plan for the future. News highlights: Kim So-hyun was emotional at a news conference on March 31, choking up several times and emphasizing that her relationship with Kim Sa-ryan began when she was an adult, but the remarks sparked a backlash. 8 of Kim Sa-ryan's friends were unhappy with this, saying that the two had been dating as early as a minor and were ready to release more evidence. Kim So-hyun then filed a defamation lawsuit and demanded damages, emphasizing that the denial of past relationships was done to protect his image. Kim Se-ron's family demanded a sincere apology and announced that the inside story would be further revealed. News highlights: Ju Jingwen and Xiu Jiikai's husband and wife pair were recently rumored to have signed a contract with Xiao Jingteng and Summers Magpie Company, preparing to enter the Chinese market. Alyssa Jia's popularity skyrocketed after participating in the variety show Sister Lang 4, and she cooperated with Yao Chen in the new drama In the Name of Beauty, and performed brilliantly. The couple attracted attention for their image of happy sister and brother love, and Xiu Jiikai also moved fans with a surprise move on his wife's birthday. Mr. and Mrs. Xiao's cross-strait connections have helped them to open up new business territories, and they may focus on China development in the future. News highlights: Peng Yuan was recently seen walking his dog with a tall female companion on the streets of Taipei, accompanied by 3 dogs. The female companion gets along well with the Peng family and also participates in activities such as dog walking and running together. Peng Yuan's intimate behavior with the girl attracted a lot of attention, but his agent clarified that the woman was just a friend who helped walk the dog, and other family members were present at the time. This scene has been shared on social media many times and has become a hot topic of discussion among fans. News highlights: the winning numbers of the 114 January and February unified invoices have been released, and a total of 11 people have won tens of millions, including 2 from 7 to 11, 2 from the whole family, 1 from the whole union, and even 1 from the car gas station. The special prize number is 959808685 and the special prize number is 37166026. One of the lucky winners unexpectedly won a bonus of 10 million yuan when he paid Chunghwa Telecom's monthly rent fee of 688 yuan, which is enviable. News highlights: a 7.7 strong earthquake struck Myanmar on March 28, causing serious casualties and damage. The Taiwan Earthquake Science Center issued a statement on the earthquake today and responded to the online rumor that a major earthquake may erupt in Asia on July 5. The center stresses that there are 2 to 3 magnitude 6 earthquakes in the outskirts of Taiwan every year, which are much more frequent than in other parts of the world, and residents should live with and prepare for earthquakes. In addition, the center explained the differences in the magnitude of earthquakes in Myanmar, noting that different measurement methods may lead to data inconsistencies. News highlights: the Chi store of internet celebrity Pineapple was splashed with red paint yesterday, and the whole process of the crime was recorded and exposed on social platforms, and a warning was issued in the video. I still can't figure out the society, I hope you will deal with me with the tone of Lian Qunyi. The police then accessed the surveillance camera and locked on the suspect surnamed Chen, and a preliminary investigation found that Chen Nan was suspected of being dissatisfied with the remarks made by Pineapple on the internet. The police are further investigating whether the incident is related to the dispute between Pineapple and the tired boss, and the case will be transferred to the Chi District Prosecutor's Office for handling. The police also stressed that disputes should be resolved in a rational and legal manner, and that violence not only does not help solve the problem, but may also violate the law. News highlights: the Eastern Theater of the Communist Party of China launched a large-scale military exercise around Taiwan on the 1st, dispatching 71 military aircraft, 21 warships, and 4 Coast Guard ships. The U.S. side stresses the need to maintain peace in the Taiwan Strait and opposes the use of force or coercion to change the status quo. China's Taiwan Affairs Office called the drills a punishment for Taiwan. Taiwan's Ministry of National Defense has launched a preparatory exercise to maintain a high degree of vigilance. News highlights: according to the latest poll conducted by Earthquake Media, 40.5% of respondents support the general recall of legislators, while 46.9% do not, and the ratio of support and opposition is similar to that in February. Most of the DPP supporters are in favor of the recall, while the KMT supporters are mostly opposed. In terms of voting behavior, the proportion of people who support the removal of the Blue Committee has increased, while the proportion of people who oppose the recall of the Green Committee has decreased. Polls show that more people are expressing their participation in the recall vote, and both Blue and Green supporters have increased their willingness to vote. News highlights: Kaohsiung Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, member Huang Mingtai recently spoke at the City Council, criticizing Taiwan for being full of a solemn atmosphere and saying that there should be more voices within the party. He called on Mayor Chen Kamai to share his experience in Kaohsiung, but then some voters opposed it, and the service office phone was flooded. Huang Mingtai responded that although he was pressured to quit the DPP, he still loves the party and stressed that there should be more tolerance and discussion, rather than extreme reactions. News highlights: Fumao Oil, 1225, failed to announce its 2024 annual financial results within the statutory deadline, and the stock exchange will cease trading in the company's shares from April 7, 2025 in accordance with regulations. The company said that it will convene a board of directors as soon as possible to elect the chairman, complete the registration change of the Ministry of Economic Affairs, and sign a contract with an accountant to complete the financial report declaration. The share price of Fumao Oil has fallen 83% from its all-time high, and yesterday it closed at 30.7 yuan per share. If you fail to submit the financial report within 6 months, you will face the risk of going out of the market. News highlights: a car accident occurred in Sankong District, New Taipei City on the evening of the 1st, near Zhenji North Road and Onel Street. The driver of a 29-year-old male truck surnamed Zhao was suspected of being in poor spirits and was napping due to poor mental health, and collided with a 59-year-old woman surnamed Li and other vehicles in the opposite direction, causing damage to 3 passenger cars and 17 locomotives. Li Nu was seriously injured on the spot and was pronounced dead after being sent to the hospital. The cause of the accident is still under investigation, and the police have dealt with the driver who caused the accident and made an accident record to the victim car owner. News highlights: with the increasing health awareness, more and more people are concerned about food safety, especially the health hazards of ultra-processed food. Wei Xiang, a family medicine physician, pointed out that ultra-processed foods are not only associated with obesity, but may also cause chronic diseases such as cardiovascular diseases, metabolic diseases, and cancer. Such foods often contain additives, preservatives, and other harmful substances, and are rich in sugar, fat, and salt. Recently, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, updated its definition of healthy food to emphasize the restriction of added sugars and saturated fats, and to emphasize the healthy components of foods, such as vegetables and whole grains. News highlights: TSMC announced that it will invest an additional $100 billion in the United States, bringing the total investment to $165 billion, and more heavy electrical equipment will be needed in the future. With the AI boom driving the demand for chips, Yalei's molded transformers have become the first choice of semiconductor customers and one of the major suppliers of heavy electrical equipment. Yalei's share price rose more than 7%, outperforming in the heavy electricity community. ZTE plans to enter the semiconductor fab supply chain, which is expected to contribute revenue in 3 years and expand its layout in the United States and Japan. News highlights: after the fermentation of the central bank's credit control, the pre-sale housing market froze sharply in the second half of last year, and the buying gas plummeted. Tong Lighting, sales manager of Xinyi, pointed out that after several months of adjustment, the market has gradually adapted to the new normal. In the past, there were often queues to grab a house during the peak sales season, but at present, it is difficult to find a waiting buyer for even a room, indicating that the market is declining. Despite this, parts of Shuangbei City still maintain a certain degree of heat, while the central and southern parts of the city are facing challenges. Builders are more conservative in their proposals this year and offer a variety of offers to attract buyers. News highlights U.S. auto sales generally rose in the first quarter, largely due to consumer concerns that the Trump administration's upcoming 25% import tariffs would push up car prices. General Motors, GM, and Hyundai Motors saw significant sales growth, with GM up 17% in the first quarter, with March being particularly strong, with Chevrolet Colorado and Chevy Traverse up 73% and 62%, respectively. Hyundai sales also increased by 10%, with sales of its Tucson and Elantra models growing significantly. News highlights in its 2025 trade review, the Office of the United States Trade Representative, USTR, raised concerns about Taiwan, focusing on the indication of the origin of pork products and technical barriers to trade in automobile imports. The USTR argues that Taiwan's labeling requirements for U.S. pork will affect market procurement, and that there is no scientific basis for imposing different tariffs on GM products. In addition, Taiwan has imposed restrictions on the number of cars imported from the United States, which has affected the business development of car dealers. The U.S. side will announce reciprocal tariff measures on April 2. News highlights Lin Xianhong, a spokesman for the recall group in Taichung's 2nd constituency, claimed to be Yan Quanhun's cousin, and decided to initiate the recall because he was dissatisfied with the Yan family's service in the local area. He said Mr. Yan had called to persuade his cousin to quit the recall group, describing it as a gentle intimidation. Nan Quanhang's team responded that Lam had repeatedly remarked his family's remarks about his relatives, denied that the Nan family had carried out intimidation, and condemned the recall group for spreading disinformation. News highlights Taipei Mayor Zhang Wanan announced that the Yongkang pedestrian zone will be piloted from May 10, and the street will be closed for 2.5 hours every Saturday and Sunday, from Yongkang Street at the intersection of Xinyi Road to Yongkang Park, with a trial period of 1 month. The aim is to improve pedestrian and vehicular contention and enhance pedestrian space. Zhang Wanan said that the opinions of residents and business districts will be taken into account, and a special pass will be set up to allow residents to enter and exit with their own vehicles and ensure the passage of emergency vehicles. The city government will combine activities to promote the participation of local residents and tourists. News highlights U.S. President Donald Trump plans to announce reciprocal tariffs on April 2, a move he calls Liberation Day, and the possibility of indiscriminately imposing 20% tariffs on the world. This policy will have a significant impact on global trade. Trump's America First trade policy emphasizes improving the U.S. economy and promoting the interests of domestic workers and businesses through a review of trade deficits and unfair trade practices. The policy will involve multiple government departments and could change U.S. trade relations with other countries. News highlights Taiwan's market capitalization ETF market will usher in a big battle in the near future. Yuanta Taiwan 50-0050 announced that it will start voting on the split proposal from April 2 to 21, and if the split bill is passed, the price per share may fall to less than 40 yuan in the future. The price of 0050 has increased by more than 400%, so in order to lower the investment threshold and improve liquidity, it was decided to split it. Fubon Taiwan Kaiji 50-006208, which also tracks the same index, may also follow suit to reduce management fees or split. A stock split does not change the total market value of the company, only the number of shares increases and the price decreases, so for investors, the number of shares will increase, but the total amount of dividends will not double with the increase in the number of shares. News highlights the Eastern Theater of the People's Liberation Army, PLA, today conducted the Straits Thunder 2025, a military exercise in the Taiwan Strait, focusing on verification and identification, warning and dispersal, interception and seizure, etc., aiming to test regional control and precision strike capabilities. The change in the code name interpreted by the official media shows that the PLA's containment measures against Taiwan are more comprehensive, and it emphasizes the warning to Taiwan independence forces. Mainland experts pointed out that this is a normalized military action, and if the Taiwan independence forces continue to provoke, they will be punished more intensely. News highlights the Ministry of Finance yesterday, first, announced the list of 114 January-February Uniform Invoice Special Awards, and 21 lucky winners were born in this period, including 11 multimillionaires and 10 2 million winners. The 10 million special prize number is 959808685, the 2 million grand prize number is 371666026, and the jackpot number includes 78394633, 26503878, and 39200954. The winning invoice will be available for redemption from April 6, and the redemption period will end on July 7, so the public can seize the opportunity to claim the prize. News highlights according to the real-time military intelligence dynamics of the Ministry of National Defense, from 6 o'clock on April 1 to 6 o'clock on the 2nd, a total of 76 sorties were detected, of which 37 flew over the center line of the strait and entered the northern, central, southwestern, and eastern airspace, in addition to a total of 15 ships and 4 official ships continued to operate around the Taiwan Strait. The national military monitors and responds to the situation through mission aircraft, ships, and shore-based missile systems. The Eastern Theater of the People's Liberation Army, PLA, also announced that it will continue to conduct the Strait Thunder 2025, a military exercise in the central and southern waters of the Taiwan Strait, and strengthen training such as investigation and identification, warning and expulsion, interception and seizure, etc., to test the troops' joint containment and precision strike capabilities. News Highlights experts reminded the elderly investor group to stay away from high-risk investments, such as Dang Chong, and pointed out the three common NG investment behaviors of the silver-haired group: lack of stop-loss concept, outdated stock selection, and investment in products that they do not understand. Experts suggest that as you age, you should reduce the proportion of high-risk holdings, turn to stable products such as bonds, funds, and high-dividend ETFs, and appropriately allocate assets to maintain a portfolio that is both offensive and defensive. News Highlights yesterday on April Fool's Day, the company of internet celebrity Pineapple Inchi was splashed with paint by unknown people, and the suspect not only started a live broadcast, but also choked, "I hope you will use Lien Kyunyi's tone to me." After investigation, the police arrested the 32-year-old unemployed Chen suspect yesterday afternoon, who confessed that he was dissatisfied with the Pineapple's online remarks before splashing paint. The police transferred him to the Chi District Prosecutor's Office for investigation on suspicion of damage. The police appealed to the public to handle disputes rationally and peacefully, and to avoid violence or vandalism. News Highlights: Fumao Oil, 1225, is facing a crisis of delisting, and the stock exchange will stop trading on April 7 due to the failure to announce its 113th annual financial report in accordance with the law. At the beginning of the day, the stock price fell more than 9%, and then there were buying orders to protect the rebound. Huazheng, 3202, also did not announce its 2024 financial report in accordance with the regulations, and the stock price was only 3.96 yuan at the opening. Both companies said they would complete their earnings announcements as soon as possible and resolve related issues. News Highlights: recently, a number of cases of sexual assault and molestation of children have revealed that many of the perpetrators have criminal records or are in the database of unfit persons, but they can still have access to children, which has aroused social concern. Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, legislator Fan Yun held a press conference with the People's Foundation, demanding that the Ministry of Health and Welfare establish a child work permit system, and all workers who come into contact with children must check their applications. Li Lianglei also showed up to support, calling for stronger protection and defending children's rights. Fan Yun said that he would propose a draft amendment to the law to codify the child work permit and solve the existing database loopholes to ensure the safety of children. News Highlights: Bulgarian prophet Baba Vanga predicted that the 2025 earthquake would ravage the world and predicted the occurrence of a strong 8.2 earthquake in Myanmar. A strong earthquake was reported in Myanmar on March 28, 2023, followed by multiple strong earthquakes in other parts of the country in the following days. The prophecy of the blind Wangpo covers not only earthquakes, but also catastrophic wars, natural disasters, etc., in Europe. She also predicted that humanity would decline in 2025 and that Russia would dominate the world. Although she predicted many major events, such as the Kanobi nuclear disaster and the 911 terrorist attacks, some of her predictions failed to come true. News Highlights: meteorological expert Wu Durong said that low temperatures are expected to fall below 10 degrees early Thursday morning, and warned that the temperature will vary greatly in the coming days. Today, the weather is sunny in various places, and the temperature rises during the day, but it is still cold in the morning and evening. The weather was stable 2 days before the Qingming holiday, Thursday and Friday, with a high temperature of 26 to 27 degrees in the north and more than 30 degrees in the south, and a slight cold in the morning. The last 2 days of the holiday, Saturday and Sunday, saw an increase in cloud cover and occasional rain in some mountainous areas. Next Tuesday through Friday will be a spring pattern of rapid change of rain, foggy, accompanied by short waves and thunder showers. News Highlights: Hollywood star Val Kilmer passed away on April 1 at the age of 65. He became popular for playing the Iceman in Defending the Warrior and participated in classic movies such as Batman Forever. Fang Jimo was diagnosed with laryngeal cancer in 2017 and lost his voice, but he reconstructed his voice through artificial intelligence and returned in Defender of the Warriors, The Lone Ranger. A male superstar of the 90s, his documentary Val documented 40 years of acting career and became a sensation with an artificial voice to record the narration. News Highlights: Kim So-hyun held a press conference on March 31 to deny rumors of having a relationship with the minor Kim Sa-ryan and forcing him to return 700 million won, and presented an appraisal report of the conversation record accusing Kim Se-ran's family of spreading rumors. However, the content of the report contradicted the arguments of Kim's side, and pointed out that the conversations in 2018 and 2025 were likely the work of the same person, prompting netizens to criticize the report as unconvincing and question Kim So-hyun for not reading the report carefully. News highlights: Bulgarian prophet Baba Vanga has predicted that the world will be hit by earthquakes in many places in 2025. Foreign media believe that she successfully predicted the 8.2 strong earthquake in Myanmar, which caused more than 7,000 deaths and injuries. She also predicted catastrophic wars in Europe, eruptions of sleeping volcanoes, and earthquakes on the west coast of the United States. In addition, she mentioned that humanity will face decline in 2025, Russia will dominate the world, and there are positive predictions such as medical breakthroughs and extraterrestrial life contact. The blind dragon woman left more than 5,000 prophecies during her lifetime, and many accurate predictions became historical events. News highlights: Internet celebrity Pineapple, Wu Hong'ai, was splashed with red paint and choked 22 words in Chi Company, and the incident attracted attention. The suspect filmed and left evidence, and the financial dispute with the electric merchant Tired Boss was once speculated as the cause, but the Tired Boss clarified that it had nothing to do with the incident. Pineapple responded with a Buddha reply early this morning, attaching a photo of the Buddha statue and writing, "What can heal you is never time, but your pattern. Maintain a calm attitude and emphasize inner peace." News highlights: White shrimp exports plummeted 67% after Honduras severed diplomatic ties with Taiwan, leaving more than 14,000 workers unemployed. China had promised to buy in large quantities, but in the end it only bought 4 containers, which was far from expected. The country's trade deficit with China exceeds $2.5 billion, and there is no progress in negotiations on a free trade agreement. Faced with the collapse of the industry, the Honduran government is seeking to return to the Taiwanese market in order to save the economy. News highlights: A fire broke out at noon today, 2nd, on Fulong 1st Street, Yingga District, New Taipei City, and a fire broke out on the 2nd floor of a 3-story apartment, with a large amount of smoke and flames coming out. After extinguishing the fire, firefighters found a 58-year-old woman surnamed Zhang and a 26-year-old woman surnamed Huang lying in the house, burned to charred bodies. The 59-year-old owner of the house, surnamed Huang, escaped on his own and was later brought back by the police for questioning. The fire was extinguished at 1:19 p.m. and burned an area of about 150 square meters, the cause of which is still under investigation. News highlights: Recently, a grass king clover appeared in Riverside Park in New Taipei City, which sparked heated discussions. Because of its hypoglycemic, heat-clearing, and detoxifying effects, this herb is sold for thousands of yuan per caddy, and even reaches 4,000 yuan in summer. However, Chinese medicine practitioner Chao Cheng-han warns that ingestion of similar plants may cause poisoning and long-term consumption may also harm the liver and kidneys, and patients with chronic diseases should be more cautious to avoid dangers caused by drug interactions. In addition, wild leaf clover is afraid of heavy metals and pesticide residues, so it is recommended that the public buy qualified medicinal materials and do not blindly pick and take them, so as not to harm health. News highlights: Hollywood actor Val Kilmer died of pneumonia in Los Angeles on April 1 at the age of 65. He has acted in classic films such as The Warrior and Batman Forever, and in 1991 he perfectly portrayed rock singer Jim Morrison in The Door. Lost his voice due to throat cancer in his later years, but he still made a surprise return to Defender, Lone Ranger in 2022, which touched fans. He was known for being difficult to get along with during his lifetime, which influenced his career development, but his diverse acting skills made him an unforgettable presence in film history. News highlights: Liu Yifei recently appeared in Hangzhou for an event, and the beauty of the gods made the row of guards on the scene unconsciously turn their heads synchronously, causing heated discussions among netizens. After she entered the venue, she took off her white coat and changed into an off-the-shoulder dress, with an elegant temperament. However, some netizens pointed out that she was plumper than before, and they left messages to discuss, but fans strongly supported, "Still beautiful."